Hey, what's up, everyone? Hope everyone's all well. Today I'm going to install an N64 emulator called Daedalus. I don't really know how to pronounce it. I do apologize. It's made by an Italian creator. Another thing is, unfortunately, my Etsy store got shut down. It got deleted. Either somebody reported it or they have people scouring your website for illegal activity. So I don't know if I'm going to bring that store back, but just not list the ROM files and stuff like that. I believe that is what got me taken down from Etsy, but it is what it is. Whatever. It was nice making a little extra cash. So who knows? Maybe I'll do it again. But for now, I'm just gonna let it be and stuff like that. I'll mod the systems that people have sent me. Well, that are going to be sending me. I'll do that, and I'll call it quits for a little bit, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But at any rate, the links will be down in the description below. So we're on one of the sites right now. It's not bad. I'll show you some pictures of it. The nice thing is about this is that there's a website for Compatibility List. It tells you what games will run and what games won't. So that's always a great little tool to have. But so, like I said, the links will be down in the description below. And yeah. So this is the website that I was just telling you about, the Compatibility List. So there's a bunch of games here. Just scroll through the ones that you have the ROM files of. So, other than that, let's get started. Click on download now, and this button will bring you to another website where the VPK file is stored. So scroll down to the bottom, hit download VPK. Once that's downloaded, you're pretty sure you know what I'm going to do. Just go to my download folder through File Manager, drag and drop the VPK file to the desktop because it's a lot easier, and let's hit up the PlayStation Vita. So once the Vita is booted up or already has been booted, what you want to do is you want to move the D-pad all the way down to Vita Shell. Load up Vita Shell. Now once this is loaded, you want to hit the select button. FTP numbers will appear. Let's go back to the to the PC side of things. Load up your file manager. Now type in the FTP numbers that appeared on your PlayStation Vita, because this is the only way where you can connect to the, I guess, file manager of the PlayStation Vita, I guess. Once that's all complete and connected, go to UX0, scroll all the way down to, if you have a folder like me, VPK, where you keep all your VPKs nice and neat. You want to drag and drop the VPK folder for the N64 emulator into the VPK folder if you'd like. You don't have to, but I like to keep things neat and organized. Once that's all said and done and finished, let's pop over back to the PlayStation Vita. So you could just close out of the message, go to UX0, now scroll all the way down to where you come up to a VPK folder. Now just install it. Doesn't take very long at all. Once that's done, you're more than welcome to keep the file on your system, or you could delete it, like I usually do, since you're not going to need it anymore. After that, you're more than welcome to reboot the system, or just exit out of Vita Shell. I just rebooted. This is what the Daedalus X64 looks like. It's going to go through these prompts. I'll give it a few minutes, or a minute or two. And this is what it looks like right now. I do apologize for the blurriness and stuff like that. But the cool thing is that you can actually use the touchpad, or not the touchpad, but the screen itself, to scroll the little cursor over like a mouse, like you would on like a laptop. But there's a bunch of options you can fool around with: the graphics, the audio. There's input and language. You can change the language and stuff like that. There's a whole mess of things. The The things I don't like about some of these emulators that people don't tell you how to work them correctly, like I'm doing right now. I'm not gonna go through every single one of them because I didn't. So you can scream at me all you want, I guess. But there's a crap ton of options you could choose, and you could change if you'd like. So that's one of the cool things about this emulator. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a under the RetroArch. I don't have like a core file for the N64, so I didn't get a chance to check out the N64 emulator for a RetroArch. But you could definitely change the user interface theme, which is UI. You could change the white. You could change it to dark, which we just had, or classic mode. I do like the classic, but there's a bunch of crap to go through. I'm sure there's documentation like on some website or something like that. If you want to get really deep and get really involved within this emulator itself for the N64. I will say there's some things I didn't like about it, but when it comes up, I'll let you know. But you definitely have to enter the path to where your ROM files are. Now, I made a mistake. My ROM files aren't on the UR0. They're on UX0. But for some odd reason, I decided to say, yeah, UR0. So I don't even know. Probably because I was drinking earlier today, which is never a good sign, I guess. But since it's a holiday, what holidays don't you want to drink on? So, also, please note that this emulator takes unzipped ROM files. So if you downloaded Nintendo 64 ROM files and they're zipped up, you need to extract those files with Winzip or Winrar or 7-zip, I think it is called. They need to be unzipped for the list of files to show. Because I was wondering why my files weren't, showing at all. And I didn't read anything in the documentation telling you you're supposed to have them just single file, no compressed files at all. So I figured that out by myself. As you can tell, I'm trying to fart around with it, try to think of every little thing to see if they'll show. But now since I unzipped them, all the files are, I think they're .z64 format, and they will show. Well, the nice thing is about this is on the right-hand side, which you can't tell because of the glare, is that it'll give you a green text tag file to let you know if the game is good or not. A yellow one will tell you it might run, but you might run into glitches or something like that, which is kind of cool. But definitely go back to the N64 Compatibility List for more information on what game you want to run. But I got a whole mess of games right here. As you can tell on the right hand side, you can see the different color tags popping and showing yellow, and then you get some green. I just didn't like where in some emulators and RetroArch you could hit the right bumper to skip a bunch of files and the left to go back up. Unfortunately, you can't on this. But you could definitely use the touchscreen to move the cursor down. Little slider, I guess you could call it. So right now, I'm just trying to find where Super Mario is, so I can show you. I would keep the audio in, but because of its copyright, I don't want to get a strike or anything like that. Because Nintendo's a pain in the dick for some reason. I don't understand why. I don't think any other company is so Nazi-like. I don't know. It's just weird. It's like, God forbid you want to do something, But the audio on the Super Mario is not bad, actually. It's really good. Really good for a system hack, I guess you'd call it, or it's good to be. I don't know. It's all right. It's not bad. Control is cool. To control Mario, you have to use the joystick. You can't use the D-pad at all. But for an N64 port on a PlayStation Vita, it's not too shabby, guys. I think it would be rad if somebody took the Nintendo leak that came out like a month or so, and if they could find those assets to Nintendo and actually make a legit Nintendo port. I think most of these games or all these games would run flawlessly. But if you do that, if you take Nintendo's assets, you're looking for some big lawsuits. So I do give props to these guys who are making these ports without any like licensed assets at all. But the cool thing is about this emulator, you can change the screen size too if you'd like. It's not bad. It's really not bad. I don't mind it. I only tried like 2 other games after this anyway, and the other 2 games they've had some glitches and stuff like that, especially audio. The audio glitches are pretty bad. There's a lot of popping and skipping, and the frame rate is quite terrible too. But Super Mario runs quite fine for some reason. I don't know why. But I used to play this game all the time when I used to have an N64. I just wish the PlayStation Vita was powerful enough to actually run N64 games flawlessly. I read and I've been told that the Vita is too it's not powerful enough for PlayStation 2 games to be ran. If you hit select, you go back to the the main menu where the options are and stuff like that. If you hit the select button, and I should have moved my GoPro up, so I do apologize for cutting off a little bit of the screen, like right there. Another thing is to close the ROM. It seems like it's a big pain in the dick to close the ROM for some reason. So I just backed out to the main menu, to the dashboard of the live area, and then reloaded the emulator from there. Because I got it working before, I just can't remember what I did. I think I hit like select twice, or held it, or hovered over the exit ROM and hit a button, or held it. I just can't remember, so I apologize. It does take some time to load up the ROM file too. I don't think I'm going to keep this emulator nor the ROM files on my system, since the PlayStation Vita doesn't really run these games quite well just yet. Hopefully you could tell through me recording this that you could tell like the lag is pretty bad, and sometimes there's visual glitches as well. Like this is all right and stuff like that. But for some reason, throughout the whole cutscene of the intro to when you start playing and stuff like that, there's like 2 lines like that. Those lines right there, I don't ever remember seeing these lines on the system itself, unless they're making it look like you're like in some kind of cage or something. I don't know. But I don't think this is normal. These 2 black lines. And this was throughout the whole intro of the game. You can't skip it. You can't skip this cutscene at all. But I did chop it down for you guys anyway. So there's no sense of showing you the whole thing. But this is what I had to deal with. So this is the end of the cutscene right now. Alright, there you go. See, now the 2 black bars are gone. It's just weird. Like I said, these games aren't going to run that great since the system's not that powerful. I wonder if you overclock the system, I wonder if that might help. I don't know. I've never tried overclocking my system. I'm not into overclocking PCs or anything like that anyway. So maybe that might help. I don't know. But this is what Donkey Kong looks like. Looks just like the Nintendo 64 with some lag and some audio and some visual issues. The Bomberman, this one was the worst. I tried Banjo-Kazooie and I got stuck. I couldn't get any further throughout the main cutscene. But this had terrible audio problems and runs into some big time lag as well. Hopefully you could see it through the screen, the lens of the GoPro. See, that's me jumping around. That's pretty terrible. So if you want to stick with playing old school systems, I'd say go all the way up to like Super Nintendo and cut it off from there if you're a Nintendo fan. Do the Game Boy stuff all the way up to Super Nintendo and call it a day. Leave N64 out for the time being until they come out with something great, something better than this emulator. Or I'm sure the creator will update this emulator constantly, but for the time being, I'd stay far away unless you really, really want to check these games out on the PlayStation Vita playing N64 games. So my only gripe is that exiting a ROM is quite difficult to do. Just exit the emulator, go back to the live area of your PlayStation Vita, then reload the emulator, and then pick your game that you want to play next. Like I said earlier, I did it. I got out of a ROM. I just can't remember how to do that. All the links will be in the description below. And hopefully you guys enjoyed. I do apologize for the crummy angle of the GoPro. But other than that, please be good. Be safe. Tomorrow's a holiday. Hope everybody enjoys.